This ladder looks sturdy enough to climb.
Ah, excellent find.
Have you business with the guild, sir? I should be glad to assist you. Have you found any of the items we discussed, perchance? Do come again. Oft we forget the value of a moment's
Always another
contemplation.
errand to see to. It's nice to see everyone else.
Well met, sir.
Must be air verticals.
A crime committed here will see one confined to jail.
I've heard that jailers are paid a pittance, despite the hardships of their work.
Then a bribe might avail us, should the time come.
Yes, sir. Have you procured what I asked? Splendid. You've my gratitude. Unfortunately, I can give you little more than that. Forgive me, but I must return to my rounds. But in place of a reward, mayhap I could give you a tour of the premises. Only if you've the time and inclination, of course. What say you? Would you care to accompany me? As servants of the gracious hand, we provide whatever treatment we can to those unfortunate who are stricken by maladies. Yet, at times, 'tis not enough. Perhaps you will recall the parents who were here when you first arrived, an unfortunate pair. They've suffered no few hardships in the slums, and now, even their poor son Lubomir has fallen ill. By chance, he was examined by a roaming man, claiming to be a doctor. Yet, the family had not the money for the medicine, so he was put into our care.
I'll gather this. It might be of use.
Here he is. This young man is Lubomir. We've been administering the medicine recommended by the doctor who examined him, but he has yet to show any sign of recovery. To be perfectly honest, I doubt the soundness of that so-called doctor's judgment. After all, there is no shortage of ne'er-do-wells out there, willing to claim their medicine the only cure, that they might inflate its price. But I suppose I ought not say such things so openly. At any rate, I'd best continue on my rounds. Pray, stay as long as you wish. Come, come. We've medicine to prepare. We've enough to make a fresh batch now, thanks to a kind donation.
Psst! You there. Help me. Listen, the sisters here are good to us, but I'm growing weaker day by day. It started with a slight fever, and now I can scarce lift myself. See that empty bed? An old man was lying in it till just a few days past. He told me he was feeling better, that he'd be well enough to leave anon. And now he's... Mayhap I'm just imagining things. I hope that's the case. And yet... something isn't right about this place. Pray, should you hear any queer rumors about the Gracious Hand, come tell me of them, won't you? I'd see to it myself, but...
I spend my days in quiet reflection.
Each of our patients deserves our full attention. Would that we had more...
The agony!
Might you be a friend of Lubomir's? He's seen better days, hasn't he? There has been talk of sending him down to the basement, should his condition fail to improve. That is, the basement sick room, where our most critical patients convalesce under the abbess's care. None of the other sisters are permitted entry, including myself. Teles, she gives the patients a special medicine. I know not what kind. At times, I hear strange cries and moans drift up from below. Which is to be expected. Those who come here suffer all manner of afflictions, you see. And yet, a part of me is afeared for them.
So, the worst of us are taken to the basement. Mayhap that's the source of the queer voices I hear at night. And none save the abbess can enter? If the Gracious Hand has a secret, 'tis the abbess who keeps it, I reckon. You've done this much for me. Would you be willing to go further? I must find out what goes on down there. You've my thanks. I just can't stomach the thought of lying here not knowing. Of course, all the better should your search come to naught. But if you do find aught amiss down in that basement, it must be the abbess's doing. Should you find evidence fit to implicate her, will you help me see to it that justice is carried out? See, I've already reported my suspicions to the Sentinels, and we've arranged a signal. If you apprehend the abbess, they'll know to come and arrest her. So I beg you, sir, find the evidence you need, if it exists to be found.
To get to the bottom of what is happening at the Gracious Hand, we shall have to acquire evidence of any misdeeds.
Right you are. How might we enter the basement sick room? Splendid.
Medicine? Medicine! Now!
Oh, someone help me.
Mayhap 'twould serve us well to track down the former patients mentioned in the... records of treatment.
I quite agree.
Ah, Sir Arisen. I've been meaning to speak with you. Did you, perchance, pay a visit to the House of the Blue Sunbright? I see. After the rather strongly worded letter I received, I feared as much. 'Twas under unique circumstances, shall we say, that Daphne came to reside with us. You must understand, the House of the Blue Sunbright is our most generous benefactor, and their favor hinges upon our continued discretion. Thus, for the sake of all who reside herein, I beg you to steer Daphne away from any further contact with that household. Though it pains me to perpetuate the girl's misfortune, it must be done, if the gracious hand is to continue to function.
Do you perchance remember me? You once knew me as maid to the young master, Sebastian. Well, I'm his maid no longer. Though I meant no harm, the mistress saw fit to turn me out. Tell no other soul of this. But the girl I had you fetch was none other than Sebastian's own twin sister. Afeard of inviting conflict over their inheritance, Daphne's family branded her a cursed babe and sent her away. Yet the loss of her newborn child drove the mistress half mad with grief. She's been bedridden ever since. I had hoped the sight of her long-lost daughter might rekindle some vital spark within my mistress. But alas, 'twould seem it was not to be.
Materials, eh? I shan't deny. They have their uses.
A few hours sleep ought to help order my thoughts. Stock up on the basics. Flour, salt, fat.
I can't stand the sight of you. Go away.
Lady Eleanor's a goodly person, a saint-like. Her earnest care saw me back to full health. I wavered between life and death for quite some time in that basement sick room, and she watched o'er me through it all, bless her. Can't say as I miss that basement, mind. 'Tis an eerie place, dark and shadowy, filled with the moaning of the sick. Suppose 'tis only to be expected, given the state of those assembled. I'm sure I was moaning too. Well met. I assume you'll be starting off with a mug of the good stuff. Many thanks.
Here you are, sir. From me to you.
Oh, look.
All that fuss and nearly a coin to show.
Suppose that's enough for one day.
Just another day, same as the one before it.
I don't feel safe here.
Time to head to market, methinks.
I'm sure I can handle this. It's quite short, awful dull.
I'd fain hear you speak on any subject, friend. Would you lend your ear to my request? You have my gratitude.
Gather round! Treat your ears to a tale by a master story.
Come take a look. You'll be glad you did.
Always a pleasure.
There's a ladder here.
We ought to put it to good use.
Do take care on the road, sir. These are dangerous times. We live in.
We must rest. Though...
You made me the pawn I am today, Arisen. I shall endeavor to repay your I feel refreshed and ready for a new day.
Come. We've much to be getting on with.
Feeling rested, I trust?
I'm not getting in anyone's way.
Very well. I shall... return.
A well-organized pack is my specialty. I'll see to it your burdens are shared between us pawns.
At least I go knowing I fought to the best.
It will be
of
an
my
honor to serve by your side.
I know precisely when a curative is needed, Master. You'll never fall...
I happen to understand Elvish, Master. I expect you'll... find my talent. I hope my magic served you well. Are you fit to travel? Then let's...
There is a rumor whispered among pawns that I have oft pondered. The gist of it is, when pawns travel beyond the rift, we can contract a peculiar illness that imperils the lives of those around us. At first, we are only restless and excitable, but in time we become so unruly that even the Arisen holds no sway over us.
How terrible. We shall have to be alert for signs of the sickness among our number.
onward to our destination.
We ought to remain vigilant.
Right you are. "'Tis a glad thing we rested when we did.
We must not let down our guard.
Most impressive, Master.
Let us not get ahead of ourselves. The battle continues!
Outstanding.
You have my protection.
No one can defend themselves when trampled like this.
That was superb, Arisen. We should be able to move this boulder with our combined might.
Does anyone care to push?
The Arisen has been torched! Quick! Douse the flames! My curative magics are at your disposal. Wait a moment. I could have done no better.
I can do no less in service to the Arisen.
Thank you.